If the old gods were meant to just convert Azeroth to benefit the Void Lords, why did they need to establish a Black Empire, and why did they battle each other? Why did they have the borders and their own separate armies? Previously, Blizzard hinted that the old gods had potentially rebelled against the original Void Lord mission. However, new lore from the War Within is actually crazy. It told us that Azeroth has been fighting for herself this entire time, she has been resisting, she gave the Titan servants free will to get them to rebel, to stop building that prison in Kanzagar. By this same logic, I mean, Azeroth would have done the same thing to the old gods, getting them to rebel against the Void Lord plan. Why should they sacrifice themselves and complete the awakening to empower the Void Lords when they can just establish their own empire and rule? This is why ultimately they sent Xal'atath to get them back in line to complete the job, but then the old gods must have defeated her, which is why she ended up in a dagger. So let's check out everything we know, because this really does change everything that we currently know about all the big events. If you wanted anything Warcraft related, Gamigo has the best deals on the market that you can get with my link below. You can get almost every other game software, and they also just added mobile top-ups for all your favorite mobile games with the craziest prices. You can also use my code DORON to get yet another discount, so click my link and get the best deals at Gamigo. So this is a proposition that is so realistic, but something that I feel like literally no one is talking about, and all of this is impacted by the new lore that we've just learned a few months back in the War Within itself. So the general knowledge that all of you guys are aware is this: the Void Lords are these very powerful beings. They created weapons known as the Old Gods, flung them across the cosmos to corrupt planets, hoping some of them would reach world souls in order to transform them into void beings. Old Gods got really strong on Azeroth and established the Black Empire, defeated the native elementals and enslaved them. Then the Titans came in and at the last moment managed to break the Void grip and to free Azeroth from this corruption. So this is the general knowledge, and keep in mind literally every single line of this info comes from the Chronicle, which we know is a complete Titan perspective and it is unreliable. However, something crazy recently was introduced in the game that I feel like is much more significant than a lot of people are giving it credit. I mean, we've learned that not only is Azeroth sentient, but that she has been defending herself against almost everyone trying to influence her, all these alien forces, but most importantly, against the Titan invaders. This is 100% new War Within lore from just a few months back. We were told that the Titans ordered these Earthen in Kanzagar to build a giant chamber, aka the World Prison, also known as the World Core, at the bottom of the zone, and Azeroth immediately started resisting hard. We've got multiple accounts of this happening. Not only did Azeroth play with the minds of the Titan workers and entice them to rebel against their masters, but it also started turning the Earthen into crystals, something akin to Magni, and these people would become the leaders of the rebellion. Interesting enough, this whispering action wasn't akin to the Old Gods. It wasn't 3D manipulation, like it was imbuing these alien constructs with the force of life. Literally, all Azeroth did was give them free will. So now these mindless Titan drones started questioning what they are really doing, why are they digging this, who are their masters, what is the end goal. From the questline in the War Within, it was so clear the masters didn't like what was happening, and this caused them some serious issues, and it really shook the entire Titan Empire. Now, this is only one small piece of the puzzle, but this completely explains what happened in that fabled Evaloran and why those guys successfully rebelled over there too. Interesting enough, those Titanforged rebelled and actually evicted their Titan masters and became free, and we never learned what really happened to them. This entire line of thinking got us to question the old lore. Like, for example, was the entire Curse of Flesh that we previously know a lie? Was it really just a ploy of yogg-saron in Northrend, or was this also Azeroth doing its thing? Obviously, Titan narrative would want us to think that this was just the evil, sinister old gods and not their own constructs just getting free will, or very likely it was a combination of both the old god influence and Azeroth. Now, this is an old topic that you might already know about, but I want to raise one point which I feel like could actually be huge. So, if you follow the more obscure lore and interviews, you might remember that Blizzard sort of retconned the old gods once again a few years back. About a decade ago, they told us that these guys were just tools of the super powerful Void Lords in order to just do their bidding, like literally mindless tools. However, then we were told, like, you know what, these guys are kinda chaotic. Maybe initially they were just simple tools and nothing more, and they followed the plan, but over time they started getting a mind of their own, started following their own goals, and might have rebelled against the Void Lord Masters. I've made a video about this 2 years ago, chalking it up to them being beings of chaos, so naturally they would rebel eventually. However, with this new information, everything kinda changes. I mean, do you think it is possible that the old gods, well, they obviously dug too deep into Azeroth, and Azeroth also imbued them with free will, caused all these old gods civil wars, and turned them into pure chaos so that they can never unite and bring the final goal, and that is why the Void Lords ultimately sent Xal'atath to fix up this entire mess. This is also why Xal'atath sees the old gods as inferior. She believes they just fell under Azeroth's weight. I mean, just think about it logically, it 100% makes sense. We know for a fact that Azeroth was defending herself against the Titan invaders by giving them free will, by also kinda brute force crystallizing them, so why would you think that Azeroth would just lay around and let herself get eaten and destroyed and literally killed by the old gods? They were doing the same thing as the Titans, just for the Void side. Now, of course, old gods are these very highly super intelligent masterminds. They're not just random earthen workers, but the old gods have their own workers doing their bidding as well. You might remember the Legion lore of how we were told that despite being the same thing and being sent to corrupt Azeroth, these guys actually waged war on each other. There is even a big speculation that they might have killed the 5th old god, the one that is in the murals in Khazakar, the one that was the closest to completing the corruption, which is exactly why Xal'atath now came here to this place out of all the places. Azeroth not only got them to weaken themselves, but it also inflated their egos with free will so that they can overthrow their masters, become more powerful than their masters, the Void Lords, so that the old gods would believe that they are the true rulers of the Black Empire. It even explains the actual existence of the Black Empire. I mean, think about it logically, like if the old gods were sent to do a job, why would they even need cities? Why would they need an empire? Why wouldn't they just come with an army, pump up Azeroth with the Void and just get it over with? Why would they establish their own realms all over Azeroth with all these various borders from the other old gods and with their own separate armies and giant cities like Nilota and a whole civilization? Well, the theory is because Azeroth gave them free will, it imbued these Void monsters with the main essence of life, free will. When the Void Lords realized that their mission failed and these guys were just now doing their own thing and establishing their own Black Empire, they sent Xal'atath to get them back in line and just wrap it up. We've seen the recent document that tells us that Xal'atath was given an award from the Void Lord Demencius during the Black Empire, which means she might have done something back in the day that we don't know about. She might have killed that 5th old god that led the rebellion. However, then the old gods probably managed to overcome her and she was stuck on Azeroth ever since. This is potentially how she would have ended up in that dagger. So think about it, almost everything we know about the old gods may literally be a lie. I mean, there is definitely a lot of hidden ancient old god lore that we just don't know yet, which is embodied in that unknown mural. I think the narrative that the Titans came in and saved us from the old gods may just be a complete fabricated lie. It is likely that Azeroth was the one that defeated the old gods. What even was the end goal? I mean, think about this as well. If the old gods did the conversion, they would probably sacrifice themselves and all of this would only benefit their masters, the Void Lords. So by Azeroth corrupting the old gods, she might have convinced them that the corruption is a stupid idea to do the entire transformation thing and the conversion. The conversion would really only empower the Void Lords, but they could keep the status quo, be the leaders of their own Black Empire and just keep it as it is. However, the Titans came in, managed to defeat them. So based on this new lore, I do think it is a really interesting possibility that the old gods have never intended to even complete the awakening in the first place. This was to be enforced by Xal'atath, who was then defeated as well. And then the Titans came in, wanted to get rid of this old god influence and to just enforce their own, and Azeroth resisted once again, corrupting their minds as well. And as you can see, the Titan Empire fell the same way the Black Empire fell. I think at the moment the only being that is actual Void Lord aligned is Xal'atath, and she knows exactly what button to push and what she needs to do to complete the job, and she will actually end up doing. Thanks for watching. Check out my video on why the Midnight Revamp will be bigger than we thought. It will be more than Quota Lost by clicking on the screen, and check out my raid channel by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.